Hey friend, Roger Christopherson here again with another first listener review, and this is a pretty good week for releases. Finally, I actually had so many things I got this week I didn't really know how to narrow it down to the ones I wanted to talk about. Usually I get a bunch, and there's a couple that I like a lot, and that's the ones I talk about, and there's a bunch sometimes that I don't like, or there just isn't anything at all, so I end up getting something weird that I wasn't planning on getting. This actually had several surprises this week. I've listened to a few already, and I like every single thing I've listened to. That doesn't hardly ever happen. So just kind of decided I'm probably just going to review all four of the main ones that I got. There's a box set that I'm not going to get through probably until Monday. There's so much music in that one, but I like to listen to every single note of everything. And this is actually the second one I dug into. I got it a day early, so I was able to listen to this all last night. I'm filming this on Friday, although I'm like way behind schedule, so I probably won't come out till Saturday. But anyway, before I get to babbling, which I've already done a little bit of, I ask you to like, share, and subscribe to keep this music alive. I'm already babbling, stuttering, because this is what we do. We talk about bands that we love, artists that we love, what they're doing nowadays, and I do a lot of the babbling. People comment. That's kind of how it goes. And we're babbling about Rob Zombie and his new album called The Great Satan. What that's supposed to mean, I don't know, but I guess it's a slight indication of what style of music we're getting on this, because it's pretty brutal. It's funny because when White Zombie first came on the scene, quite different than anything I was listening to at that point in time, and it didn't immediately reach out and grab me. But on Headbangers Ball, this is probably toward the end of Headbangers Ball, and the show was kind of dying down. They weren't really sure what to play on it anymore, it seemed like. They played Thunder Kiss 65 so much, like every episode, I swear, and it was on like relentlessly. I swear Rob must have had like a stake in that, MTV, or he was part owner or something, because I don't know, that song played all the time, and it started to grow on me. It got stuck in my head. There was other songs that they played, from the band as well, but that particular one just stuck in my head. So when their next album came out, and I heard More Human Than Human. I think that was on the next album. I really like that one. In fact, my band ended up playing it. Unfortunately for me, I played bass in that band. That was like one of the most boring bass parts I've ever had to learn. Song's great, but man, that bass part is not fun to play. It's just one note, like the whole freaking song. But anyway, song is great. I really like the band. They had other songs that grooved a lot more as far as like the rhythm parts, section went, and bass and drums. But that was just a funny thing for me anyway. But when he went solo and I started getting all his solo albums, I actually was a full-fledged fan at this point in time. And I've gotten everything he's done throughout every album he's released, and I've really enjoyed them. This one, however, this kind of takes me back to earlier stuff, like more like the Hellbilly Deluxe era of him, and even maybe some early White Zombie feel in there as well. However, this one has a lot more effects in it. It's still heavy, like it's a heavy album. It grooves. These guys have I don't even know how you write this kind of music. It's mind-boggling to me, because I can't write like this at all. I've been playing in bands since I was 15 years old, and doing original music the whole time, and I love listening to this kind of music, but I don't know how these musicians come up with some of this stuff, but it's cool, and I'm glad they do, because I really enjoy listening to it. But there's a lot more sound effects going on in here, snippets of, which is stuff they've always done, but there seems to be a lot more of that effects and stuff in the background stuff happening on this one than I've really ever noticed before. Maybe it's just I noticed it more this time, and it's always been that way. I don't know. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to some earlier stuff to see if it's actually that way all the time, or I'm just more keen to it on this listen through. But it kicks in with super cool. And there's like 15 tracks in here, but its album's only like 40-ish minutes long, so they're really short songs. So if there is a song in here you don't like, the good news is it's not going to last for very long until you get on to the next one. But yeah, it starts with a killer song called FTW 84, and I mean, just got a cool groove right from the start. I'm not going to go through all 15 songs on here, but that one just gave me really good hope for this album, and it was going to rock, and it did. It's pretty much balls to the wall almost the whole album. There's one point in the middle of it where it slows down, and unfortunately it ends on a little bit of a slower note. Last couple songs, especially the last song, just kind of just aren't as heavy and full force as the rest of the album, which I don't know, if you like it up to that point you can just stop listening then, which, you know, I did actually on the next listen through. But there was a couple on here that I thought were really good. I know they released one of these as a single. I think it was I'm a Rock and Roll. I think it was a single. I hadn't listened to anything ahead of time. That one actually really gave me the vibes of earlier stuff, like even Dragula, you know, their big hit from back in the day there, and you know, that Rammstein type chug, that feel, the industrial feel to it. Even though it was very catchy at the same time, I thought that was one of the highlights. Same thing with Tarantula, that was a good one. Really enjoyed those songs. That's earlier part of the album. A couple other cool ones for me anyway. Like even like one of the more faster, upbeat songs, Heathen Days. This has that punk feel to it, but just a really sing-along, simple, chanty chorus type thing going on. And Rob, you know, doesn't have a wide range. He's got a very distinct style, and I wouldn't call him like, he does sing, but a lot of times it's more like half, I don't say rap, but he's kind of speak, sing type thing where he's jumbles a whole bunch of words together really fast, and I have no idea what he's saying a whole lot of the time, and even if I can decipher what the lyrics are, they make absolutely no sense to me. That just, which is fine. I'm fine with that. There's certain things I know what the song, certain songs are based on, know what the topic is, but the lyrics a lot of the times make absolutely no sense to me. But it's just like this poetic license he has that just seems to work for him. I think if other guys went out there and did this type of thing, it would sound a little bit weird, but for Rob it just seems to work. You know, especially in songs like Black Rat Coffin. No clue what that's about. Yeah, it's fun. You know, the interplay between like the phrasing of the lyrics and the groove of the song, but no clue what he's talking about. I guess I could say the same thing on almost everything on here, but Sir Lord Acid Wolfman, what? Seriously, what? But it sounds cool. It works. It flows. Very hectic, but precise and groovy song. So if you can picture what that means, super growly type vocals going on. He has a lot of effects on his vocals in this one too, a lot more than maybe other albums have used, but it doesn't seem to like take away from the style of music, and it doesn't seem to take away from the songs. It actually, when they're doing like super heavy distortion on his vocals, actually I feel it leads a little bit to the production in a good way. It doesn't seem like it's being used to cover anything up. It's actually, you know, like some people use a lot of that type of thing because they can't do vocals right. And I consider him a vocalist more than I do a singer. I know, potato, but that's when people sing in this style. That's what I refer to it that way, because it's more of a vocal effect he's doing, and it's not, you know, it's technically singing a lot of the time. So anyway, but a lot of that going on in this album too. Like I said, no complaints. It's just, you know, that's just what it is. I don't know what else did I've listened to this thing through a couple times now, and I'd say the highlights are very early on. Actually, Unclean Animals is actually a really, really cool song. It's a little bit more of the slower one I was talking about, but it's still really cool. I don't know. That one really, I actually really like that one a lot, and I'm thinking about it. So anyway, out of 15 of the songs, I would say 13 of them were really good. There's a couple that were kind of The majority of it I really liked, so I can't really complain about anything on here. And luckily for me, the ones I didn't like were at the very end of the album, so I can just listen through. When I get to that point, done. And I can carry on with my life and get on to whatever else I want to do next. So I'm cool with it. So anyway, and I didn't mention he's got a couple guys from back in the day on here, Riggs and Blasco. So that's cool too. So lost John 5 to Motley Crue, so he had to do something, and then I should have mentioned this like way early on in this, but I never prepare and I just speak off the cuff. That's kind of how these things work, like sitting around talking with my friends. But anyway, yeah, John 5 not on this. He's been involved in some other stuff, obviously, and I was very interested in hear how this was going to be without him, and it worked really good. I actually think the songs were really good. Like I said earlier on, early stuff, and I don't know, really enjoyed it. I think it works great, so no complaints there. And this is one I think I can enjoy for quite a while, and it's going to make me eager to hear what he has to do next, because even though it's nothing really super new, although there is some cool stuff in it. There's a lot of blood and guts and gore in the lyrics. I hear a lot of that going on, so I still couldn't tell you what most of these songs are actually about. But yeah, he didn't hold back on any of that stuff, and the way the effects and a lot of the stuff, there's like speaking from like old music or old movies. Man, if I could talk, that'd be great. It takes like dialogue from old movies and interjects it, and probably TV shows and stuff, and just interjects it in the songs, and it works really well. It's just kind of cool, really trippy sounding a lot of the time. But boy, babbling way too long on this one. But if you've heard White Zombie, Rob Zombie before, you've heard him do that type of stuff, picture this like with a lot of caffeine. And that's what you got. So anyway, until he comes out with the next one, I'm going to enjoy this one, and we will see you.